There was once a small village nestled in a valley surrounded by towering mountains. The villagers were a close-knit community, simple and hardworking, living their lives by the rhythm of the seasons. They trusted one another and made decisions as a group, sitting around the great bonfire in the town square. But one winter, a strange figure arrived in the valley, a man named Mern. He claimed to be a traveling healer, carrying remedies for every ailment and a wisdom that could transform the village's fortunes. He had sharp eyes that seemed to see through you, a soft voice that curled into your thoughts, and a peculiar tool, a small, iron brazier. "It's no ordinary brazier," Marin told the villagers one evening as he lit it in the center of their gathering. "This smoke is special. It can reveal the truth, sharpen your memories, and guide your decisions." The villagers watched in awe as the smoke rose, swirling in hypnotic patterns and filling the air with a sweet, intoxicating scent. At first, the smoke did seem to work miracles. Disputes over land were resolved quickly. Forgotten stories of old debts were suddenly remembered and repaid. Even the grumpiest among them smiled, convinced they'd never felt clearer in their thinking. But the smoke had a darker side. One by one, villagers began to doubt themselves. "Did I really agree to that deal?" one farmer would mutter. "Or did the smoke show me something I had forgotten?" Another villager would rub her temples, saying, "I thought I gave my word to a different plan, but if Marin and the smoke say otherwise, maybe I'm wrong." Slowly, Marin began to make suggestions during these gatherings. "Perhaps it's best if I settle these disagreements," he would say, his voice soft as the curling tendrils of smoke. "The smoke shows me the truth more clearly than anyone else." And so, little by little, the villagers handed over control of their decisions. Marin became the arbiter of disputes, the keeper of their memories, and even the guide of their future plans. But what the villagers didn't realize was that the smoke didn't reveal the truth. It concealed it. Marin had mixed herbs into the brazier's coals, herbs that muddled the mind, confused the senses, and made people second-guess themselves. When they inhaled the smoke, they became pliable, suggestible, and unsure of their own memories. Marin, of course, used this to his advantage. He began demanding tributes of food, tools, and even gold, convincing the villagers that they owed him these things. He made them believe they'd agreed to deals they'd never made, and he planted fears of dangers that didn't exist. The village, once vibrant and united, grew subdued and mistrustful, with neighbors doubting neighbors and families whispering behind closed doors. One girl, however, saw through Marin's illusion. Her name was Talia, and she had a gift, a sharp memory and an even sharper mind. She noticed that when the smoke filled the air, people changed. Confident voices became hesitant, certain plans became uncertain. She remembered promises she'd made, only to hear Marin claim she'd said something else entirely. Late one night, when the village was asleep, Tahalia crept into the square and examined the brazier. She saw the strange herbs mixed with the coals and understood what Marin had been doing. She didn't know how to fight him outright, but she knew one thing. The smoke couldn't twist what wasn't there. The next evening, as Marin prepared his brazier for another gathering, Talia acted. She stood before the villagers and said, "We've lost something, haven't we? We've lost trust in one another, and we've lost trust in ourselves. Every time we breathe in that smoke, we lose a little more. I don't think we need it anymore." Marin laughed softly, his voice smooth. "My dear, the smoke is what keeps this village running so smoothly. Without it, you'll fall into chaos." But Talia was ready. She knocked the brazier over with one swift motion, scattering the coals and extinguishing the flames. "If you believe the smoke brings truth, let's see if we can find it without it," she said, standing tall. The villagers gasped, unsure of what would happen. Marin's face darkened, but without the smoke, his voice seemed less convincing, his gaze less piercing. Over the next few days, as the haze cleared, both literally and metaphorically, the villagers began to remember. They remembered who they were, what they'd agreed to, and the strength they had before Marin arrived. And when Marin tried to light the brazier again, the villagers stopped him. "We don't need your smoke to make decisions," they said. "We trust ourselves and we trust one another." Defeated, Marin left the valley, taking his brazier and his tricks with him. The villagers never forgot the lesson they'd learned. The most dangerous manipulation is the kind that makes you doubt yourself. and they never let anyone, no matter how convincing, take their trust in their own minds again. As for Talia, she became a symbol of courage and clarity, a reminder that truth doesn't need smoke to be seen. It only needs light and the will to believe in it. This story uses